Well, the question isn't just what's wrong with the Warriors. It's what's going right for the Houston Rockets, who are trailing them for that last playing spot in the West. And first, we've definitely got to start with what's going well for the Houston Rockets. They've been on a 9-game win streak. And I think a big part of that is they're a young, they're a motivated team, they're hungry, and those guys are playing like that. They've had wins against Portland, 2 wins against Portland in that run, Utah, Chicago, Washington twice, the Spurs. So what that says to me is that they're winning games that they're supposed to win. And for Coach Ime, I think that is tremendous. He's doing a tremendous job coaching up those guys, and they're following his lead. But Jalen Green has been on an absolute heater over the last 9 games during that winning streak. 29 points per him for fourth in the league on great shooting splits, 50% from the floor, 43% from three. But they've just been really playing some good basketball. And you think about it, Şengün hasn't even been in that lineup. So there's a lot more space for those guys to work with. And a lot of those guards that want to get into the paint, that want to be creative, shooting the basketball, scoring the basketball. And Fred is doing an absolute job just setting the table for that young group. But you talk about the Golden State Warriors, and there's obviously been a lot of concern there that they're really not trending in the right direction right now. There's a lot of expectations because of the championship pedigree that they have. Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins. The reality is, they're not good enough to turn over the basketball the way they are, and they're not good enough offensively like they were in years of the past, where they can just be an average defensive team or just below average defensive team. A big part of that as well is the lack of size has really hindered them. They do a good job rebounding the basketball, but there's no rim protection. There's not a lot of paint touches and so forth. I think Chris Paul was, a great idea being added to this team, but when he comes in with that second lineup, you start to play a slower brand of basketball. And again, they're turning the basketball over at such a high rate. They don't have the fortune of the margin for error there anymore. That's been a big problem for them. Steve Kerr doesn't seem to be too concerned. He said he's not going to ride Steph Curry. But to me, if you don't start riding something, it's going to be an early ride off into the sunset into golf season this offseason.